Jimin breaks down in tears as Jungkook bids farewell. Is this the end of BTS? The moment Jimin broke down into uncontrollable tears in front of Jungkook wasn't just emotional, it was seismic. One sentence from Jungkook, one silent hug, one storm of unanswered questions. No stage lights, no confetti, no official fanfare. Just raw, unrehearsed emotion. Could this signal the long-feared disbandment of BTS? Is this how a decade-long global phenomenon ends, not with an explosion, but with a whisper, on an undisclosed date, within the subdued walls of HYB's headquarters? A 26-second leaked clip sent tremors through the ARMY universe. Jungkook, visibly emotional yet composed, quietly said goodbye to his bandmates. But what stole the world's attention was Jimin, eyes swollen, hands trembling, body collapsing into Jungkook's embrace. No words were audible in the footage, but his grief said it all. Was this a temporary separation? Or was it the final act of the most iconic music group of the 21st century? The official silence from HYB only intensified the confusion. Why was such a defining moment not captured by HYB's media team? Why was there no official farewell ceremony? No curtain call, no coordinated message to fans who have dedicated years of unwavering loyalty. The lack of documentation, accidental or intentional, felt deafening. It was as if the company wanted this parting to go unnoticed. But for ARMY, and especially for Jimin, it was impossible to ignore Jungkook's parting words, according to several unofficial sources, included a phrase that still reverberates among fans. "I owe everything to you. If this is the last time I'll be here," the gravity of that sentence felt absolute, final. And in the history of BTS, a band known for their transparency, unity, and deep emotional bond, this type of unscripted farewell was unprecedented. The question no one can ignore: why was only Jimin overcome with grief? Why did no other member react publicly? Industry analysts point to the particularly profound personal relationship between Jimin and Jungkook. Their bond wasn't just professional. They were brothers in arms, confidants since their teenage years, and emotional anchors during the most intense moments of global fame. To Jimin, losing Jungkook, even temporarily, may have felt like losing a part of himself. But beyond the tears lies a larger, far more ominous narrative. Over the past year, BTS members have increasingly focused on solo careers. While this isn't new, what's changed is the complete absence of a group identity in their latest ventures. BTS no longer appears in key HYB promotional materials. The company's upcoming HYB labels festival list solo names, RM, Jin, J-Hope, but not BTS as a group. Strategic documents presented to investors make no mention of BTS's future as a collective. Instead, the emphasis is on individual album sales, solo world tours, and personal brand growth. Are we witnessing the gradual dismantling of BTS, orchestrated quietly behind corporate curtains? For years, HYB crafted and protected the BTS brand with obsessive precision. Every release was strategic. Every comeback meticulously planned. But now, silence has become the loudest message. HYB's refusal to address the leaked clip, Jimin's breakdown, or Jungkook's emotional farewell has left a vacuum. And in K-pop, vacuums don't last long. Speculation rushes in. Some say contracts haven't been renewed. Others cite growing tensions, irreconcilable creative differences, or even disillusionment with the industry. Yet the most sobering clue lies in the changing dynamics at HYB. The label's focus is shifting aggressively toward emerging groups like New Jeans and TWS. BTS, once the crown jewel, now appears relegated to legacy status. In HYB's Q2 financial report, BTS isn't listed under future strategic assets, but rather as part of the company's historical foundation. In short, BTS is being archived, not amplified. Some industry insiders, speaking anonymously, admit what fans fear most. HYB is at a crossroads, prioritizing portfolio diversification over preserving the identity of one megagroup. And while the commercial logic may be sound, the emotional toll is devastating, especially for members like Jimin, whose identity has been inseparable from BTS. In his recent interview with El Korea, Jimin remarked, "Life has been changing so fast lately. I'm still searching for a way to feel whole." A simple sentence, but one that now resonates like a cry for clarity. His vulnerability, his inability to mask his heartbreak, is rare in an industry that demands perfection. It's not just that Jimin cried, it's that he cried in front of the only person he could never say goodbye to without breaking. What's more troubling is the widening distance between members. While solo activities have always been encouraged, the narrative used to be consistent. We will return as a group. That promise has quietly faded. Recent interviews and social media updates from members like Jungkook and Taehyung focus entirely on individual journeys, collaborations with Western artists, brand deals, fitness regimens, and creative experimentation. The name BTS is seldom uttered in a forward-looking context. It's referenced only as a past chapter. Consider Jungkook's own words in a Rolling Stone interview from early 2025. "I want to experience everything I dreamed of as a child. I want to be free. I want to sing without restrictions. No genre, no limits. I don't know if that means alone or together, but I want to pursue it." Once seen as a declaration of artistic ambition, that quote now reads like a silent farewell. What does it mean when the members themselves stop referencing a group comeback? When even their most diehard fans begin to question if this is the beginning of the end? When the only evidence of cohesion lies in memories, not in future plans, the departure from group activity isn't happening with the clarity fans deserve. It's happening through silence, slow withdrawal, and emotional breakdowns caught on unofficial cameras. And in a media ecosystem as tightly controlled as K-pop, this kind of exposure isn't just unexpected, it's unprecedented. The emotional significance of Jimin's tears cannot be overstated. They're not just a personal expression of sorrow. They represent a fracture in the collective identity of BTS. They symbolize what fans worldwide have felt but couldn't articulate, a growing sense of uncertainty, fear, and impending loss. And perhaps most tragically, they signal that the members themselves feel it too. Why wasn't there a proper farewell? Why was it left to a 26-second clip with poor audio and no context to tell one of the most important stories in BTS's history? The silence from HYB isn't neutral. In the world of K-pop, silence is a strategy, a deliberate one. It allows the company to avoid accountability, to preserve optionality, and to test public reaction without commitment. But silence doesn't soothe. It sears. The history of K-pop is filled with once great groups who fell apart after military service. Promises of reunions faded, and solo careers took precedence. The collective dissolved into nostalgia. BTS was supposed to be different. They weren't just artists. They were a brotherhood, a symbol of hope, resilience, and global unity. Yet the path they're now walking feels eerily similar to those who came before, slow fragmentation, disguised as evolution. There's still hope? Possibly. The military service of BTS members is nearing completion, and some believe a dramatic comeback could still be orchestrated. But optimism must contend with reality. And the reality is this: the infrastructure for a group comeback is eroding. The narrative is shifting. And unless a formal declaration of unity is made soon, the public perception of disbandment may become irreversible. Every indication, from financial reports to promotional materials, from social media activity to emotional breakdowns, suggests that BTS as a group is no longer a priority for HYB. The company is building its future around new names, new markets, and diversified income streams. BTS's legacy is being preserved, but its presence is fading.